I'm Nate Herring, Executive Director of the Center for Student Success, and I'd like to take just a few minutes to talk to you today about some of the services that our office offers. And we'll start with our academic supports. We're really excited to announce in the fall of 2015 that we'll be opening a learning center in the lower level of the library. We haven't settled on a name yet, but we're kind of thinking about the Den. And that learning center will incorporate our current tutoring services, and we'll also incorporate some walk-in tutoring and academic support services for students that we hope will really increase access for students who are looking for different academic helps and supports. And the tutoring model that we're going to use there will have a couple of different service delivery methods. One of them will be having tutors available in generalist areas like New Testament, Old Testament, anatomy and physiology, other sciences, math, that'll be available throughout the week where you can just walk in and ask questions as needed rather than having to schedule a tutoring group or rather than having to set up tutoring times. You'll just be able to walk in and meet with a tutor. So if you don't need a full 3-hour tutor session and you just have questions about one math problem, you'll be able to go in and get those solved. The other piece that we will have is we'll have our traditional tutoring. There are small groups of 6 to 8 students who are assigned to a tutor, and they'll be able to meet weekly in the Learning Center. And we'll have all of the library resources available to them. There will be technology available to use during the tutoring sessions. And then we will also have large group tutoring that will be done in a classroom setting, where we're hoping to have graduate students from the School of Health Sciences who are able to come in and teach additional lessons in anatomy and physiology and chemistry and biology and nursing courses. The Learning Center will also house a small walk-in version of the Writing Center, which is going to be known as the Ink Spot, as compared to the Ink Well, which is the main Writing Center. And it will not be by appointment. You'll be able to walk in. They won't look over a full paper with you like the traditional Writing Center will, but what they'll do is they'll help you with individual references. They'll help you come up with a thesis statement. They'll help you look at small sections of the paper, or maybe just give you some ideas on how to get started in the first place. So we're really excited about the Learning Center piece of our academic supports. And then you also have available in our office the ability to come in and talk to me if you'd like to talk about some different study skills strategies or talk about some different methods to learn differently or read differently. The second thing I'd like to talk about is our counseling services. Our counseling services are operated by 4 licensed clinical counselors, and normally we have 3 to 4 graduate interns per semester that provide the same counseling services that you would see in a community mental health center. So dealing with mental health issues, dealing with relationship issues, dealing with depression, anxiety, dealing with things that maybe you're struggling with a little bit as you're trying to progress into life on campus. It's free at Indiana Wesleyan University. A lot of schools will charge fees to use the counseling service, or they will bill your insurance, and we do neither. And the best way to access those services is to come to the front desk of the Center for Student Success, and we'll have you fill out our electronic application, and then we'll get you into the queue to be able to start seeing a counselor. The next piece is disability services. If we have students who are coming out of high school who have had special education services, or who maybe have had a disability issue but never used support services in high school, we'd be happy to meet with those students and talk with them about their options for reasonable accommodations and support within the college environment. And the best time for students to get a hold of Sandra Cash, our Director of Disability Services, is really when they're kind of in the application process, because we can talk to the families about what supports are available and what supports we have here, because we're very proud of what we have to offer, and we feel like we have things to offer to families that other schools, particularly in CCCU, don't offer. What Sandra does is she monitors the accommodations within the university, whether it's physical accommodations for housing, physical accommodations in the classroom, Baldwin, wherever it happens to be. She also oversees those academic supports, whether it is extended test taking time, distraction-reduced testing, getting notes for classes, getting access to PowerPoints in an earlier format. If the student needs materials transitioned into an electronic format to assist with reading due to ADD or learning disability or visual impairments or a hearing impairment, we will work with students with the assistive technology that we have in place in our office. And we have a pretty good pool of assistive technology already in place. But even if we don't have it, we're willing to look at it as one of our requirements to be able to make sure that students are getting access to that academic information. Sandra's also great to meet with in person. She'll meet with students during their time here to help them work through some of those issues of being a student with a disability. Even if it's just to talk about some of those basic academic supports, she meets with a lot of students on a weekly basis. The next service is our TRIO Student Support Services program. And this program we have had since 1980, and it's a program that is federally funded by the Department of Education, and it's geared to provide very intensive academic supports for 3 groups of students: first-generation students, low-income students, or students with disabilities. And you don't have to be all 3, you just have to be one of those categories to be able to qualify for the TRIO program. And the TRIO program provides the ability to meet with an academic advisor or an academic counselor who will really kind of help you through your 4 years of education at Indiana Wesleyan, working on designing your schedule that works well for your learning style and your learning needs, helping you coordinate services across campus, helping be a mentor for you, helping be an advocate for you, helping to make sure that you're really getting the best of the campus experience you can have by just being a really good individual person that you can contact. The tutoring program for TRIO is also different than the university program. It will still be housed in the Learning Center in the lower level at the library, but it will be an individual tutoring basis. So we will pair you with one tutor. So it will be you and your individual tutor will have the ability and flexibility to meet. The third part of the TRIO program is a social cultural component. They do a lot of trips to museums, to theater events, to different types of activities on campus and off campus. And that service is also free. The program pays for admission to the events, it pays for the tutoring, so there's no additional cost to students to be involved in that TRIO program. We also have within our center the CLEP testing program. The CLEP testing program is one of the very few services in our office that actually does cost something for individuals to take. And the CLEP test, if you're not familiar with it, is a test that students can take in order to get credit for a class without actually having to take the class.